Welcome back to another mind-blowing how-to Monday video. Today's video, we're gonna do how to pan fry a pork chop without breading, and also I'm gonna make a pan breakfast gravy. So you're gonna learn how to make a pan breakfast gravy, and you're gonna learn how to pan fry a pork chop with no breading. Here we go. So we're gonna season our pork chop, or mine, I actually have a pork blade here. We're going to season our flour. You always want to season your flour as well. So I have just salt and pepper. Placing your seasoned side pork chop into the flour. Now I will season this side of my pork chop. We're gonna make sure that's fully coated on all sides, edges, crevices, cracks, everything. Into my pan, I'm adding blended oil. This is a canola and an olive mix. So be careful with your oils. Every oil has a different use. Olive oil has a very, very low smoke point. What that means is the oil is going to smoke at a very low temperature. Once it starts to smoke, the quality of taste starts to degrade. So you need to be sure to use a oil that has a higher smoking temp depending on what the use is for. Sauteing, pan frying, you want to be able to have a higher smoking temperature. That's why I'm using a blended oil. It has canola and it has olive oil mix. Also, you're going to notice I add some butter to this pan. Butter adds a lot of flavor. What happens to butter? Butter has an extremely low smoke point. It'll burn quick. But because you're adding it to an oil that has a higher smoke point, you actually bring the butter up, the smoking point up. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Our pan is nice and hot. We are going to drop our pork blade in away from us very carefully. Drop that down. Now we don't want this to cook too hard. We want to get a nice golden brown. This is a good temp right here, nice slow bubbles. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some butter for that extra flavor, and I'm going to reduce my heat down. I'm going to let that get nice golden brown, about 4 minutes. Okay, we're going to go ahead and give this a turn over very carefully. Beautiful color there. And let this continue to cook on this side for another 4 to 5. Watching your temperature, you don't want these bits to burn because we're going to actually use that for flavor in a little while with our pan gravy. So you want to keep your temperature at a medium to a high, but not so much high. Start noticing some coloration starting here, and turn it down a little bit. This is our 4-minute marker. Our pork chop's completely cooked. So what we're going to do, we're going to remove this from the pan. We're going to lay it on a rack. We're going to drop our heat all the way to low on our pan. We have our pork chop on a rack that's resting to the side. We're going to dredge off some of this fat because we're going to introduce more fat to the pan. So we get rid of some of that old fat because it's already been cooked in. It's getting a little bit dark, bitter, but we're going to save this flour remnants right here. This is good flavor right here. So to that same pan, we're going to add in our mild ground sausage. Now we're going to begin building our white breakfast gravy. We're going to just cook this sausage down. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flip this over. I scrape the bottom and I'm flipping at the same time because I want to pull up some of that sook on the bottom of the pan, but I want to get a nice sear on this sausage to get some color and flavor, and we'll continue to cook on this side before we break it all up. Now I'm going to break my sausage up. I'm going to add a few pieces of my beurre Meunier. Okay, question. What is a beurre Meunier? I will put the link to the video so you know how to make this. I'm actually going to use it to thicken my pan gravy. Our sausage is completely cooked now. I'm going to add a little bit of cream. That's going to help add some body to my pan gravy. Now I'm going to add whole milk. We are going to whisk until that beurre Meunier is completely dissolved. And I'm also scraping the bottom to pull up the rest of that sook. We're gonna cook this down until it becomes a thick gravy consistency and we get that floury taste out. About 15 minutes, nice slow simmer. Once everything is completely dissolved, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna taste for salt and pepper. Sauce is getting nice and thick, you can see here. I'm gonna go ahead and test for salt and pepper. It needs a little bit of salt and it needs a little bit of black pepper, and I'm also going to add a little bit of red chili flake just to give it a little bit of spice. I've let this go for about 10 minutes and I'm very happy with the flavor. Also, the consistency is a nice thick gravy. We're gonna go ahead and cut it off. And that right there, my friends, is how easy it is to do a pan-fried pork chop with a nice breakfast gravy. You like this video? Thumbs up, subscribe, check out my channel. I've got something for everybody. I promise I will blow your mind.